Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It's 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let the minutes show, Mike Riding's present. Rick Morris is present, Donnie Seymour is present, but missing is Mr. Ryan Lange. Morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I have asked for Rick Morris to lead us in the prayer and pledge, so we'll do that first.
Dear Lord, we thank you so much for this day you provided for us and the blessings we're receiving from it. Lord, we ask for blessings upon each person here and the families they represent. Lord, we lift those up to you who are ill and burdened. Lord, we ask that those who are ill with this virus, that you lay your healing hand on them and return them to health. But Lord, we ask that you would lead us, that the decisions we make for this city each and every day will be helpful and useful and needed for each and every citizen in this town. Lord, this is our goal, that we keep moving forward all the time and making Ballinger the best city to live in. Lord, we just pray that you would lead us and guide us in all that we do each and every day. I pray this prayer. Amen. Texas flag. Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, at this time, we can hear from the public. This is the opportunity for the public to address the council. Dialogue, deliberation, or discussion with the council members on items that are not on the agenda is prohibited by law. Time for each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Julie Bella. I live up on 9th Street. I just have a couple of general questions where you can answer them or not, either way. I've noticed a couple of times the meeting shift from 3 minutes to 5 minutes for the time for people to be able to speak, and I was wondering if there was a specific purpose for that or if it was just something that was overlooked. I think back till April, there have been a couple of times where there's 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So is there any particular reason or not? And if not, could we get it back to 5 minutes? Because there are some times where you need a little bit longer than 3. And I realize that if there's a lot of people, it takes a while to get through that many. But still, with the fluctuating.
There's no particular reason.
Okay. Also, any particular reason why we're doing the meetings at 10 o'clock in the morning instead of in the afternoons? I had to leave work to be here. I realized that I could come to the ones in the afternoon, but this would seem a bit important.
It's a special called meeting, and we've already, I think, satisfied our 2 meetings for the month. And this one was a special one for just one particular item, and we felt like we could do that during the day.
Okay. Also, I've noticed, does this count as the 3rd consecutive meeting that Mr. Lange has missed? And I'm going to assume that there are valid reasons why he's missing. In the past, when members have missed, that has been one particular reason why I voted the way I have in past years. Because to me, if you're going to be a council member, although things do come up, you do need to be at the meetings. It's part of your job, so to speak. So I'm just wondering about that.
I don't have an answer on that one, right? But
All right.
I've written it down.
Last thing is the house on 10th Street that had burned, that the city was demolishing, has been sitting there for a while. Do we have any updates on that or anything that we can discuss on that?
Yes. The crew has been so busy, just have not had an opportunity to get back over there and clean that up, but it's still gonna happen. Just bear with us. With the crew of 6, sometimes they just get overwhelmed.
Right.
But
I
we
completely
have to
understand
survive.
that, yeah. One thing that I would suggest is that before we undertake things in the city of a project like that we make sure we have the ability to do that. Right now, it's a hazard. There's quite a few children in the area. Of course, children have been everywhere because of, being out of school and such. It's just not good, basically.
I agree.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Does it have to be on the agenda?
No, if it's not on the agenda though, we don't have to speak to it, or
Okay.
we shouldn't speak to
Okay.
it. We can write it down and we can, post it on.
Just some quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Travis Walson. I work for Tex Aero Aviation Maintenance Services out at the airport. And I just want to kind of put a bug in y'all's ear about the airport. It's something that I think the city has neglected, not to deliberate neglect, I'm not saying that at all. I think it's just because there's been so many changes in the city, and nobody in the city knows anything about airports. We need to look at doing some things like, security fencing the airport. We need a fuel system. We need somebody to monitor and maintain the fuel system. Right now, nobody's pumping the tank, and I'm not even sure we have fuel left. We're the most expensive fuel in the nation, to my understanding. So we're not gonna be selling much, and it's inconvenient. And our dumpsters out there. We're having an issue with somebody who owns a construction company that's coming out there, and when the dumpsters get empty, they bring a truck and trailer, and they fill every dumpster up to beyond capacity. We can't even throw our own trash away. So I just kind of be thinking about that in the future. I'll put together some things. The FAA, as far as fencing the airport, I think has Department of Homeland Security and NTSB grants that will pay for almost all of that. Sweetwater's done it, Coleman's done it, Brownwood's done it, and they fenced the whole thing off with a security gate. TxDOT has matching grants, I think 50-50. The FAA has grants at 90-10. So I know the city doesn't have a lot of money, but the funds are available.
Okay, I
So,
appreciate it.
if you guys would be kind of, just keep the back in mind, and, I'll come up with some more figures and stuff, and I'll be bringing them to you.
Yeah,
I'd just like to respond to that just a little bit. When we get our new city manager, some of this stuff is gonna get looked at. It's
Right.
kind of one of those things that's been falling behind,
Right.
and yes, I agree with you.
Well, I appreciate it, because our airport, it's a federally funded airport. We are, most people don't realize, a designated emergency relief airport for both Abilene and San Angelo. We receive federal money from the FAA, I don't know how much or how often. But in the event they have to divert due to weather or disaster or an emergency, they'll land a Embraer RJ-145 regional jet at our airport. And, that's the reason we kind of need to look at that. We've also got trespassers who come out there and use it as their own personal donut and drag strip. We've got people driving front loaders and semi trucks on the taxiway, and that is not heavy pavement. It's very, very flimsy pavement. It's made for airplanes.
We've addressed part of that already.
Right.
And hopefully, that
Yeah,
is.
I'm the guy that goes out there and has to pick up all the trash, and the guy that has to go out there and sweep the taxiway, and it's a never-ending process. 90% of my time at work is spent sweeping the taxiway, and
well, thank you for that.
I'm.
Thank you for taking care of it. And I wrote down everything, I'm sure you did too. So it is something that has been of a concern for the council. So we will continue looking into that and doing what we can to make it better out there. And thank you for your concern, I appreciate it. Okay. All right, anybody else? Okay, so moving along, city council may consider, discuss, and approve the appointment of a person to serve on city council in the position of city council member place number 1 until the November 2020 election. Following the appointment, the city council member will take the oath of office.
I entertain a motion that we appoint Ken Henley as the position for city council member place 1.
Okay,
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Yes.
I simply have a question to that, and I waited because it was part of that line item, which is why I didn't ask it earlier. What are the council's, I'll say requirements, it's not requirements, it's what were you looking for? You had 2 people volunteer last time, y'all didn't accept them, which is fine. In the previous months, whenever we filled the spots, with Jeff Smith, Ryan Lang, Mr. Riley, To me, Mr. Riley was probably the most qualified out of those three right there, just from different experiences that he had, yet it took the last position to fill him. Now, not saying that Mr. Manley doesn't have the experience, he's a great person, I'm sure he's gonna do a great job. But what was it y'all were looking for that people who attended the previous meeting, because attendance is a big thing to me, again, just to reiterate, that they did not have? Anything in particular, anything in particular come to mind? Did y'all have something in mind that y'all were looking for?
I would say, as far as Ken is concerned, I would be in support of Ken because of his service to our community, because of his service to our country. He is very active in our community in serving our youth on the sports leagues at school, and he's an outstanding citizen. That would be what I would look for in a member of the city council. I can't speak to anybody else. And I don't know necessarily that we need to say what we were looking for.
That would be the wrong thing to do, because that would be speaking about something we don't know about it as far as the other persons who wanted to be considered. We can't talk.
Well, just to clarify, my question wasn't in any way to say that Mr. Manley shouldn't do it. And it wasn't specifically why you chose him. It was more to the effect of, at the last meeting when we had this line item, there were 2 other volunteers that y'all didn't, accept. You didn't vote in or what have you, which is fine. And there was mention that there was one person missing. Now, whether it was Mr. Manley who couldn't make the meeting and that's why y'all didn't do that, y'all already had him in mind, or whether it wasn't, I don't know, because it wasn't mentioned. Until today, I had no idea who the person was, even if it was Mr. Manley, I don't know. The fact was, there was a comment of, there's one other person who happened to be male, that was the comment made, who could not attend the meeting, and it just seemed like y'all were holding out. That could be wrong, and that's fine. It's just optics again. But, again, I was just curious what y'all were looking for.
I say right now, we're looking for Mr. Ken Manley to come up and take the oath of office.
Okay, thanks for skirting around the question. You did your job, Mayor.
Could Ken address council and tell us why he wants to serve on council?
Sure.
Yeah,
Ken Manley can certainly stand up and say.
Tell us.
That'd be great.
Let's wait for it.
I'm happy for him to get it, don't get me wrong.
We'll see if
I mean-
your insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, after all the kids, hey.
No, almost 40 years ago when I joined the military, I was gone for 30 years. And I made the choice that I wasn't going to come back to Ballinger. That was my first choice. And by the luck of God, he sent me Beth. So in 2009, I moved back. And since I've been back, I have noticed a lot of things around the city that they bother me, but I know eventually something will get addressed. And my point is, I am here to serve the citizens of Ballinger above anything else. Don't expect any type of knee-jerk, resolutions out of me. I will give everything the thought process before I come to my conclusion. And I would appreciate it if you guys would hold off judgment, not per se because of me, but the decisions that the council make. Let decisions be made before any assumptions come out that's going to create more turmoil than what's already there. And I can assure you I will do the best that I can, on the council. And I hope you guys appreciate the job that I do after I take the oath.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Okay. Yes, so I guess at this time, do you want to do the oath? Welcome, Mr. Ken Hamlin, to the city council.
Thank you.
He's athletic, so he can hit the ground running, right?
That's right.
I don't know about the running.
Fast passer.
Yes, absolutely.
Please repeat after me. I, Ken Manley,
I, Ken Manley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
or
swear
affirm
or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Single Member District Number One
single member district number 1
of the City of Allen,
of the city of Allen,
of the State of
of
Texas,
the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws
the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Check to see the flooding.
I have a feeling you can be loud and that it won't matter.
Yeah, I meant to check.
Oh.
Never mind. No, did you do that?
Really hot seat.
Hot seat it is.
You don't know how hard.
You're fixing to find out.
I'll make an extra pair of pants.
And to answer part of your question, the strength and character of this gentleman is also one of the reasons why I fully support him. He will not be intimidated by the little gang out there that seems to be hell-bent on running our poor little town down to the ground with all their hatefulness. So I admire Ken's strength, I admire him as a person, and I think he's going to do an outstanding job for the city of Ballinger. And with that, our business is concluded, and if I have a motion for adjournment,
So moved.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.